Hey guys, check it out. You're watching Jonathan Clarke on YouTube. Oh no! Hello once again, ladies and gentlemen. I am your host, Jonathan Clarke, and I have never felt more honored to be in your presence to discuss everything Descendants and Zombies for the fans that have had these two franchises forever and always hold a special place in your heart. If you have not hit the subscribe button, you're probably going to want to think about doing that because I showcase Descendants and Zombies with a greater appreciation apart from every other YouTube channel and YouTube creator that you will see on YouTube who upload Descendants and Zombies videos. I question their videos that they are uploading because they promise you a breakdown and an analogy and an overview of Descendants and Zombies, but is that really what you're getting and seeing from their videos they are uploading on YouTube? They refer to these videos as breakdowns and analogies, but they're pretty much just reaction videos that just give you a reaction to a music video or a scene or a moment in time that we've all been a part of, that we all know about, so we don't really need somebody to break those moments down for us. If we're diehard fans of Descendants and Zombies, we know about these moments because we forever and always held a special place in our hearts because of these moments and these characters who brought these moments to life. I go all the way back to being a fan of High School Musical. On January 20th, 2006, our lives changed forever because we saw the premiere of characters like Gabriela Montez, Vanessa Hudgens, Troy Bolton, Zac Efron, and Sharpay Evans, one of my all-time favorite High School Musical characters of all time, Ashley Tisdale, bringing a franchise to life that would set things in motion for Descendants and Zombies to take the world by storm over 2 decades later. And since 2 decades have passed, we've seen the best Disney Channel stars come and go, but we've never seen something have a profound impact on all of our hearts such as Descendants and Zombies. So we take these moments into consideration. We've had a special place reserved in our hearts forever and always for these moments. So I question whether or not we need somebody to really break down these moments because we know how much these moments have individually meant to each and every one of our hearts. For some of us, very different reasons and meanings behind these moments than others. But that's what creates diversity and separates all Descendants and Zombies fans from all walks of life and cultural diversities from each other, because if every one of us felt the same way about Descendants and Zombies, the world would be a pretty boring place. It would be a pretty dull kind of concept. But it's pretty oblivious to me why people can't understand what the concept of Descendants and Zombies is. It's about happily ever after, existing for forever, one finding true love regardless of how they find it and how they obtain it, how they make dreams come true, and how girls can fall in love with zombies and stay in love with zombies now for the rest of our lives, and how friendships really have stood the test of time after being tested, which I'm expected to see in Descendants 5 with Wonderland's plot, seeing Chloe and Red's friendship being tested in ways it's never been tested before or that we could ever imagine. And here comes the sun today on this beautiful October morning. Thank you, God, for giving us a beautiful sunny day on this island. It seems like every day on this island is sunny since I started recording Descendants and Zombies videos for the people who love Descendants and Zombies videos. This island I live on, just to give you a backstory on this island, have a lot of stories associated with mermaids and pirates and people going missing all the time because of ghost ship sightings and stuff. So it's a really appropriate location to talk about Descendants and Zombies and even to shoot the Descendants and Zombies movies to be a part of the franchise. I have forever advocated for this island to be the set of an upcoming Zombies or Descendants movie because it's really beautiful here, especially in the nighttime just after sunset. And that is why I like to record videos just after sunset, because it allows me to put my thoughts together on Descendants and Zombies. And that's the key to uploading Descendants and Zombies videos. Never preparing what you're going to say, never thinking about what you're going to say, because I never have. I've never sat in front of my microphone with a cue card or a piece of paper with a pre-written statement thanking everybody for subscribing, because I leave that up to you. And the reason why I never promote the videos is because there's an excitement and a joy and appreciation that comes from a girl who finds these videos for the first time ever, and she comes to discover there are 500 plus videos having been uploaded about Descendants and Zombies on this YouTube channel. And that really warms my heart because I see the greater appreciation coming from people who love Descendants and Zombies every single time they subscribe to this YouTube channel. So if you have not subscribed to this YouTube channel, you're probably going to want to do that, because there is something here on this YouTube channel to be found and to be seen for everybody who is a fan of Descendants and Zombies, because I go above and beyond the requirements of a YouTube creator. Not trying to put myself over or breed my own success, but I really do believe that I go above and beyond the requirements of a YouTube creator to provide you with great analogies and breakdowns about Descendants and Zombies, which you're not getting from other YouTube creators. This has never been about the YouTube partnership program for me or monetization opportunities. It's just been about talking about Descendants and Zombies because I love being on YouTube. It's never been about Kylie Cantrall hearing my voice or seeing my video. It's never been about some fan hitting the subscribe button because I want to be monetized or qualify for the YouTube partnership program. I just love talking about Descendants and Zombies with each and every one of you. But the more that I think about it, it would be really cool if Kylie Cantrall's heart was touched because of one of my videos, because of everything she's going through and everything she's had to endure. She's under a lot of pressure, there's no question about that, and there's never any denial coming from me about how I feel about Kylie Cantrall and the pressure she's been put under. Kylie, if anything, I want you to know you're doing a fabulous job inspiring millions of people to be a part of High School Musical or Descendants, because so many people want to get into the same line of work as you have been inspiring people to be a part of. And the advice that Kylie Cantrall offers to people is absolutely outstanding. Far better advice than Dove Cameron ever gave them, because I honestly don't think that Dove Cameron offered anybody any advice for getting in the same kind of line of work that Dove Cameron portrayed. Being an actor and being a singer and a musician, I don't think that she's really offered the same kind of advice or inspired people the way Kylie Cantrall has. The work ethic and dedication that I've seen from Kylie Cantrall is really second to none, because her resume really speaks for itself. Gabby Dern and the Unsittables, High School Musical, the series, as difficult as that may be to roll off the back of my tongue. Raven's Home, Gabby Dern and the Unsittables, so many unforgettable moments in time that we've seen it being a fan of Disney Channel given to us by Kylie Cantrall. I remember some of the very first Disney Channel promos that would air promoting Gabby Dern and the Unsittables over a decade ago, and Kylie Cantrall was so excited to be a part of this series. She wanted everybody to tune in and check out the latest episode, and I remember her being so appreciative being in these promos. And then comes High School Musical, the series, another franchise Kylie Cantrall grew up watching, herself and Ruby, and I remember it being a reoccurring dream that all they ever wanted to do was be a part of something special. And they had the honor of doing that, which means so much to my heart to get the chance to see Kylie Cantrall and Ruby Rose Turner having fun all the time. I see all these photos they take together, all these selfies, and they are definitely selfie-worthy. And I think that all of us should really go back and take a look at these photo galleries that have these photos of Kylie Cantrall and Ruby Rose Turner within them, because their friendship ever since the age of 9 has really put into perspective how long a friendship can really last and really stand the test of time, regardless of how much adversity we face every day that we open up our eyes and how much controversy we're affiliated with or how many negative reviews we receive. Because I know that Kylie Cantrall and Ruby Rose Turner have a differential of opinions when it comes to their careers and their choices and how they've been very outspoken. I think what a lot of critics have to realize and a lot of guys have to realize is a girl has a voice to use. And if a girl can't use that voice and feel confident in what she thinks and how she feels, then her purpose is pretty much defeated. And I think that God gave them voices to have them be heard and louder than ever. And I think now, because of Descendants and Zombies, people are feeling more courageous and more curious about what people feel about them and what people think of their opinions. And I think that that's why we're hearing a lot of girls become more outspoken now, is because of Descendants and Zombies and how they've inspired us to really let our voices be heard. Because I really do believe that God gave girls a voice to be heard and to use, and I think that more people using their voices because they feel encouraged by what Descendants and Zombies has been inspiring us to think and feel is a wonderful thing. And that's one of the greatest joys I get as a YouTube creator, to really put emphasis behind that, to really offer encouragement to people like Freya and Ruby and Kylie and Malia to really continue on the path that they're on, because it's a very promising one. And I'm really excited about the futures of these stars, because I never wanted to say goodbye to them. I never wanted to say goodbye to these franchises. Now, years ago, yeah, I kind of coped with having to say goodbye to Hannah Montana and High School Musical because the music was great. The story wasn't the best, but the music was great and really catchy, and I just didn't want to say goodbye to it, but I kind of coped with saying goodbye to it. But I can tell you now with 100% confidence that I never want to have to say goodbye to Descendants and Zombies, which is why I've been advocating to be the writer and producer behind these franchises, because I believe there's a lot that I can offer to these franchises. And when you think about, bringing it to life, because there's so much of a story that can be told about Bridget's character, because there's time with the franchise was unquestionably very short-lived. But I saw the appreciation coming from Ruby being this character, explaining the story behind the Queen of Hearts, why she was so evil and turned out the way she did. Because I don't think that anyone ever expected the Queen of Hearts to be as evil as what she was. But what you got to think about with your history of Alice in Wonderland, she was created to be annoying. So her character traits really fell through. And because her character traits really fell through, she came off as the most annoying Disney villain in history. And she became one of the most revered because everybody remembered her for being incredibly annoying. And everybody was leaving comments in the early videos I was throwing up on this YouTube channel saying the Queen of Hearts was incredibly annoying. And I appreciated your opinion on how you felt about the Queen of Hearts, because there probably could have been another villain apart from the Queen of Hearts that could have had emphasis on her, and probably another character. But as time went on, I think we get used to these characters and we adapted to the change because as fans of the franchise, the times have changed, and we too as fans have had to change with the times. And as difficult as that may have been, as incredibly difficult as that may have came off for having been, I think we fell more in love with the Red character than we ever did Mal. Because Mal was just somebody kind of that just showed up that we had to accept. And I think that because she was someone that just kind of showed up that we had to accept, we didn't have anybody else to fall in love with outside of Sophia Carson's character Evie, who had no backstory whatsoever. But now, the characters are far more detailed. They are so much more full of life. They are so excited to be a part of all of our lives, and we too are excited to be a part of their lives. So we have more Descendants characters to fall in love with and choose from. So not everybody is a fan of Red, and there are fans of Chloe, there are fans of Bridget, which is kind of really cool. And I think that now that Red has a sister coming into the franchise by Descendants 5 Book of Wonderland's release in summer 2026, in July of that upcoming year, we are incredibly excited to meet her sister, to see what kind of conflict and what kind of storylines she will present. What's interesting about this is a lot of people are suggesting that Pink is going to be the villain. While it remains to be seen, I kind of concur with that, because who else is going to be the villain? There's a lot of suggestion, a lot of conversation on who is going to be the villain, how it's going to come to be, but I think that with the history of villains that have associated with Alice in Wonderland very appropriately, from the Mad Hatter to the Queen of Hearts, there is an endless amount of possibilities as to who the villain could be and how this story could unfold and how you could predict this story, because not necessarily just one prediction of what's going to happen. If they're going to be frenemies, if they're going to coexist, if their friendship's going to be tested. We have so many unanswered questions about this story, along with how many new characters will see their introduction into the franchise. Keanu Romero coming in to play the daughter of Captain Hook, Hazel Hook, which will present a lot of controversy. Perhaps she will play the role of the dedicated villain, kind of like how Uma showed up by Descendants 2 and presented a lot of conflict and challenges for Mal and Ben to have to overcome. Their relationship was tested, but they outread it all into the sunset, and I think that Red and Chloe will understand the value and the appreciation that goes with a friendship, because I, for one, believe that some of the most beautiful friendships of all time have happened because of Descendants and Zombies, because I've seen it with my own two eyes, and it continues to happen every single day because more people are falling in love with the franchise than ever before. People loved High School Musical 15 years ago, but did they love it as much as what Descendants and Zombies? That is questionable, because I think that 781 million hours of stream time courtesy of Disney Plus, 250 million hours of stream time courtesy of Zombies 4, Dawn of the Vampires added into the collection now. The entire collection is available courtesy of Disney Plus, is a true illustration of putting things into perspective of just how far these franchises have come. And I, for one, have been incredibly honored to be a part of this franchise, to have watched it with each and every one of you. The only regret that I have is I never had the opportunity to grow up as a fan of Descendants and Zombies, because that must be so cool, having the chance to grow up as a fan of Descendants and Zombies. Now, I had a chance and an opportunity to grow up with a lot of franchises like Hannah Montana, Wizards, Sweet Life of Zack and Cody, Phineas and Ferb. Who doesn't love Phineas and Ferb? I think there are people far more crazier about Phineas and Ferb than they ever admit to. 104 Days to Summer Vacation. And don't worry, it will happen. Summer Vacation will happen, and summer 2026 will be one of the greatest summers of our lives, because we will witness the premiere of Descendants 5 Book of Wonderland. Yours truly will be sitting in this chair for the rest of his life, uploading videos about Descendants and Zombies. So summer 2026 gives us more of a reason than ever before to be excited about this. But this is coming from a fan of Alice in Wonderland for forever. I always remembered reading the books and seeing the original animated TV series and movie. It's been over 50 years since that movie was released, and in all honesty, it had so much prestige behind it because of the curiosity of Alice, chasing a white rabbit down through a rabbit hole, and then by Descendants, here comes Red wanting to drive us side by side through a rabbit hole that had been closed for years. It looked quite fun shooting this movie, and it looked like an experience that they will never ever forget, because they had the opportunity to take on the role of such iconic characters that ultimately went on to become so revered for touching each and every one of our hearts. And this is why I love recording these podcasts every morning, because it touches the hearts of whoever watches them. And people see the greater appreciation coming from my voice as your voice of Descendants and Zombies. There's always been something about my voice being associated with these two franchises, is it not? And I think people look forward to these videos to offer my predictions on Descendants and Zombies, where I think the franchises are headed for the foreseeable future. Because regardless of how critics feel about these franchises, there is a future, and that is evident. That's obviously very apparent. And I think more people should be encouraging the future of the franchises instead of shutting it down, saying they've read enough, we've seen enough chapters of Descendants and Zombies, we've heard enough conversation, and about how people are becoming very annoyed about it. The thing is, That's what creates diversity. People feel so much about Descendants, others feel this way about Descendants, so it creates diversity, and when diversity clashes head on with each other, it creates a lot of very different predictions and thoughts and theories about Descendants because everybody feels differently about it. But the beautiful thing about Descendants as Zombies fans is how incredibly supportive each and every one of you have been of my theories and my predictions and of the franchises and the stars, because even in light of all the criticism that this franchise has received, it's received its fair share of praise as well. And that's something I give you guys a profound amount of credit for, is all the praise that you have shown for Descendants of Zombies and how loyal and how dedicated you have been to so many beautiful stars and so many franchises that have touched our hearts. Because never before did Hannah Montana and High School Musical get away or get off with being a franchise that inspired so many millions of people. People loved the music in High School Musical, but I questioned in between the performances of the songs, and this being one of the most revered musicals in Disney history, I wonder if people really loved High School Musical as much as what they loved Hannah Montana or loved Descendants and Zombies. Excuse me. I think that will be debatable for forever, because I think that Disney just gave it the distinction of being everybody's favorite franchise because they had a viewership of 17.6 million viewership on that night. I believe the same night they premiered the pilot episode of Hannah Montana, so everything just kind of took off for Disney in a positive direction on that night. And ever since then, Disney has held the record, or High School Musical's held the record for being the most revered franchise of all time. So it will be questionable whether or not, High School Musical is actually the most popular franchise of all time. Because I think that Descendants presents a very convincing argument for being one of the most revered franchises of all time and going down in history for having some of those popular characters, because it just wasn't about the music. It was about a powerful script that some way or somehow always managed to touch our hearts in so many emphatic ways. And then the Worlds Collide tour just exploded in popularity. So much revenue, so much attention was garnered for these franchises. And I think that leg 2 of the Worlds Collide tour is going to be something even more to be excited about. And I'm incredibly excited for the future, because it's a foregone conclusion that leg 2 of the Worlds Collide tour will happen, because I really do believe that we are in store for something to be excited about for Descendants and Zombies fans. I think pretty much what they're waiting on is just the new soundtrack to drop, and once that drops, it will be a part of the ballad, the score for the Descendants Zombies Worlds Collide Tour Leg 2, because they can't just perform the same songs over and over for venue after venue in different parts of the world, because there's a lot of global exposure and pressure that goes with the Leg 2 of the Worlds Collide Tour, because it's expected to be more infamous and have more raved reviews than ever before and be talked about more. So in order for it to be talked about more, you have to have different performances than what we remember seeing from fans of the original tour, and I think that we will get to that point. It's just a matter of when, where, and how we get to it, and how much support people in Germany, the United Kingdom, and Australia will have going forward with Leg 2 of the Worlds Collide Tour. And I really don't believe that this is the end for a tour that received so many great reviews. In light of all the criticism, you guys did a fabulous job promoting the Worlds Collide Tour, and I just want to say that you guys really warmed my heart with the response you gave to your favorite stars. You came out in love and support of your favorite stars like Freya and Kylie and Malia. It was really outstanding, and it was an incredible time to be a fan of a franchise that we all had grown up feeling as if we were part of it for forever. And I just want to take a moment to say thank you guys so much for all the love and support you've shown this franchise and have shown this YouTube channel for every single time you hit the like and subscribe button. It really means so much to my heart, because this YouTube channel could have never amounted to what it did and could never be in the position it is today if not for all the love and support that the fans have shown this YouTube channel. Guys, seriously, thank you so much. So with that having been said, I have one more podcast to go before this evening's end, and then I have some videos I have to record for tomorrow morning because I have to head out tomorrow morning. So keep waiting for those videos to drop on this YouTube channel. Keep watching for those videos to show up in my archives, because I have a lot of work to get to, a lot of things to discuss on this YouTube channel, and I hope you will join me for it all throughout today. So if you have not hit the subscribe button for this YouTube channel, you're probably going to want to perhaps think about doing that, because this YouTube channel is here for everybody, and there's something here on this YouTube channel for everybody, because there's a lot to discuss when it comes to the futures of your favorite Descendants of Zombie stars, because their futures have never looked more promising than ever before, and I, for one, am incredibly excited to be a part of the foreseeable future for your favorite Descendants of Zombie stars, and I've never felt more honored to be the guy to discuss the futures of people like Ruby and Kylie and Malia, who I love so much, and I know you guys love so much, and there's a greater appreciation coming from each and every one of you for being fans of Descendants of Zombies, which really means the world to me that you're here, because of Descendants and Zombies. And you click on my thumbnail, you watch my videos from beginning to end. You always hit my subscribe, my like buttons because you want to show your appreciation for these videos that will forever and always be here for the fans of Descendants and Zombies. Guys, seriously, thank you so much, because I think this is a conversation that never has to end and just keep going on and on and on. And I, for one, am incredibly excited about the foreseeable future of these franchises because there is so much to discuss. The music, the script, where the story is headed from here, because there's always a new chapter and always a new opportunity to write a new chapter about new characters that we have yet to see their introduction into a franchise such as Descendants and Zombies, which really has taken the world by storm, and I have never felt more honored to be in your guys' presence to discuss all things about. So if you have not rang my bell to stay up to date with notifications, you're probably going to want to think about doing that. I am your host, Jonathan Clarke. I will be back with you later on this afternoon. Keep waiting for that video to drop on my YouTube channel because it will archive at some time this afternoon. Thank you guys so much. Keep Descendants and Zombies forever and always in your heart. Have a special place reserved in your heart to talk about Descendants and Zombies because this conversation is going to keep going on for a very long time. And I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure the rarity is always and forever associated with franchises as powerful as Descendants and Zombies. Guys, thank you so much because life really is sweeter when all of us are.